Welcome to Animal Atlas. Come with us around the globe and explore the animal world and its jungle animals and desert creatures. We'll meet wildlife on the savannah and see our underwater friends. And animals from the Arctic Circle. Anywhere, everywhere animals live. It's always an adventure. Today on Animal Atlas, you'll need to get out your passports because we're headed to Asia. Home of some of the most spectacular, beloved, and interesting animals on the planet. Some familiar, some not so much, but all have an interesting life story to tell. The first mystery to solve? What is Asia exactly? That's a question that requires a closer look at the 7 continents, or great landmasses, on Earth. Ready? When we look at a map of the world, it's clear what landmass defines North America. North America is home to some very particular and recognizable animal inhabitants, from the American black bear to the prairie dog, to the bison, the great shaggy symbol of the Wild West, sometimes nicknamed, affectionately, though incorrectly, the buffalo. Right, Bill? South America is another distinct continental landmass and home to its own population of amazing animals, from a host of charming and acrobatic New World monkeys to the regal giant anteater, to the largest rodent in the world, the sturdy capybara. Kind of resembles a giant guinea pig, doesn't he? That's a compliment. Really. Of course, a number of animals, notably a number of carnivorous predators, have moved north through Central America to straddle both continents. From the jaguar to the cougar, as well as some other animals like the infinitely interesting armadillo, which is Spanish for little armored one, or the handsome coati, a close relative of the raccoon. See the family resemblance? The continent of Australia is home to its own population of extraordinary creatures. From the eucalyptus leaf-munching, cuddly-looking koala, to the hop-hop-hopping marsupials, the kangaroo, and the wallaby. The continent of Antarctica, down at the bottom of the world? That's an easy one. Up at the top of the world, in the region of the North Pole, the land isn't considered a continent. But that doesn't mean no one lives nearby. In the continent of Africa, it would take all day to greet all those familiar faces. So what continents are left? Europe and Asia. Uh-oh, do you see what I see? A shared landmass. Where does Europe end and Asia begin? And what about all those islands and nations and subcontinents? For our purposes, for meeting the animals of Asia, we'll include them all. That okay with you? You're from Asia, from the island of Borneo, in fact. We'll come back to you in a minute. Asia, then, is the largest and most populous continent on Earth. More people than in Chicago, even. Asia covers nearly 30% of the Earth's landmass and contains more than 60% of the world's human population. And in the heart of this continent, in the bamboo forests of mountainous China, lives one of the rarest yet most recognizable animals in the world, the giant panda. There are only about 1,600 of these bamboo-eating bears left in the wild, but thankfully, there are breeding programs and conservation efforts underway. This Asian animal has become the symbol for all endangered species, and the panda seems to take it all in stride. The Chinese alligator is also endangered, and like the giant panda, has a relatively small native habitat in the wild, in eastern China in the Yangtze River Basin. This rare Chinese alligator is one of just 2 alligator species in the world. The other, the American alligator, a much larger reptile, who lives in far greater abundance than his smaller Chinese cousin. How small is small in alligator world? The average total length of the male Chinese alligator is a little more than 5 feet, while male American alligators are about 15 feet long, with the world record being an unbelievable near 20 feet. So if an American alligator was propped up vertically, you would see that he can grow as long as a giraffe is tall, while the Chinese alligator makes it just above the giraffe's knee. But that's all right. In the animal kingdom, good things often come in small packages, don't they? In fact, the smallest bear in the world, the Malayan sun bear, hails from Asia, specifically from the tropical and subtropical regions of Southeast Asia. Male sun bears only weigh up to 140 pounds. Compare this to the North American grizzly bear, who can weigh close to a whopping 800 pounds. But the sun bear's size is to his advantage where he lives. This lightweight bear is a skillful climber who spends a lot of his time climbing up trees in search of fruit. The sun bear has a definite ursine sweet tooth. He's not also called a honey bear for nothing. The sun bear has long climber's claws and a short, sleek coat, well suited to the equatorial climate where he lives. And that orange-yellow horseshoe-shaped marking on his chest? In folklore, that yellow crescent was said to represent the rising sun. And that's how the sun bear gets its name, and not for its obvious appreciation of a sunny day. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll seek out more noteworthy Asian animals. But first, let's see if you can guess this animal fact. Modern elephants are native only to A. Africa, B. South America, C. Africa and Asia, D. Africa and South America, or E. Asia. The answer coming up when we return to Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? Modern elephants are native only to... The answer is C. Africa and Asia. Yes, there are only 2 different kinds of elephants. Just like there are only 2 different kinds of alligators. The African elephant and the Asian elephant. What's the difference between the 2 elephants? They may look alike at first glance, but they are really quite different. The giant African elephant, with its huge ears, shaped like the continent of Africa, is the largest living land mammal and a favorite sight at zoos and animal parks. This behemoth makes its home in the grasslands and open woodlands of the African savanna, where his neighbors might include the giraffe, the ostrich, and the zebra. But the Asian elephant is no less impressive. Though smaller than their African cousins, they can still get up to 11 feet tall and weigh close to 10,000 pounds. Their massive skull makes up a good 12 to 25% of their body weight. The difference is? The Asian elephant's ears are smaller and clearly not shaped like the continent of Africa. Their backs are dome-shaped, and their skin is not as wrinkly. These elephants have been domesticated in Asia for centuries, meaning they were bred in captivity to fulfill our human needs, mainly moving people and cargo. They have also been widely used in the lumber industry as a sort of draft animal for hauling logs. When well treated, Asian elephants are docile and highly intelligent. Not only do elephants have the largest brains in the animal kingdom, they also form close social bonds. Maybe elephants fascinate us so much, not because they are so big, or unusual looking with their remarkable trunks, but because they remind us of ourselves, or how we would like to think of ourselves: intelligent, loyal, friendly, and with an amusing and pleasant personality. But the Asian elephant isn't the only giant herbivore on this vast continent and its surrounding islands. Just like Africa has the white rhino and the black rhino, Asia is home to the Indian rhinoceros, found in the swampy areas of northeast India and Nepal. What do all rhinos have in common? Large heads, thick, stumpy legs, broad chests, poor eyesight, terrific hearing, and a diet consisting solely of vegetation. What else? The most obvious thing, of course, their nose horns. The word rhinoceros, in fact, comes from the Greek words rhino, meaning nose, and ceros, meaning horn. But just like the subtle differences between the Asian elephant and African elephants are apparent if you look closely enough, the ways in which the Indian rhino differs from his two African cousins become clear with a closer look. For one thing, the Indian rhino only has one horn, while its African counterparts have two. Also, the Indian rhino looks like it's wearing armored plating, complete with rivets, as compared to the smooth as a baby's bottom skin of the African white rhino. But this is just a layer of skin that has many folds, and that makes for very impressive body armor. Though elephants and rhinos are both huge herbivores with thick skin, they aren't actually related. Instead, the rhino claims this startling-looking Asian animal as its relative, the Malayan tapir. Like the rhino, the tapir is a species of perissodactyls, meaning it has an odd number of toes. The tapir is a baffling animal. At first, it looks like a pig because of the shape of its body. But that mobile nose and upper lip sure resembles a stubby elephant's trunk. Yet it's the rhinoceros that shares the common ancestor with this agile, tropical and semi-tropical forest-dwelling herbivore. What's with the two-tone coloring? Though at first glance, it might look as if the Malayan tapir is wearing a pair of oversized white underpants, this coloring is really very clever camouflage. This black and white pattern is called disruptive coloration. When laying down, predators just might mistake the tapir for a large rock and not a mouth-watering meal. This type of camouflage works well for other forest dwellers. Just ask our friend the giant panda. What about Asian carnivores? So far, with the exception of the Chinese alligator, everyone we've met eats only vegetation. Meet the Asian small-clawed otter, a happy consumer of small animals living near the water's edge, from crabs and mussels to frogs and snails. These otters are the smallest of the world's 13 otter species. No surprise there, since we're in the part of the world that boasts the smallest bear, the smallest alligator, and the smaller of the two elephants. These small otters live in Indonesia, southern China, southern India, the Philippines, and Southeast Asia, inhabiting freshwater streams, rivers, and creeks, often near dense foliage. Their webbed paws are a testament to their swimming ability. Otters are very social animals, preferring to live in family groups of about 12 individuals when in the wild. Along the shores of Asian lakes and ponds, the Asian small-clawed otter is apt to meet another animal who's not averse to eating a frog or two, or, for that matter, marsh plants, aquatic insects, or even water snakes. The Saurus crane. Saurus cranes are the largest of all the crane species, and they make their home not only in Asia, in southern Asia and the Philippines, but also in northern Australia. The people of India consider the Saurus crane to be sacred. In Vietnam, this grand bird symbolizes fidelity, long life, and happiness. Who is thought to be an emissary that bears worthy souls to heaven? That's right, none other. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll meet some more exceptional Asian animals. But first, let's see if you can guess this next animal fact. The largest wildcat in the world comes from A. Africa, B. Asia, C. South America, or D. North America. Don't go away. The answer coming up right after this on Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? The largest wildcat in the world comes from? The answer is B. Asia. And that animal is none other than the Siberian tiger. Did you think it was the African lion? Nope, the tiger is the bigger animal. And though South America is home to the jaguar, and North America is home to the cougar, it's the massive Siberian tiger, who hails from northern China, Korea, and the forests in eastern Russia, who claims the title of the biggest wild cat. With a length of up to 12 feet and a weight of close to 800 pounds, this male tiger would make the Africa-dwelling king of beasts look like a lightweight at 450 pounds. Sorry, but it's true. There are currently 5 subspecies of tigers, including the Siberian tiger and the Bengal tiger. But not one comes from Africa. All tigers are Asiatic cats, though their range is quite wide. Besides size, how does a tiger differ from other big cats? By its stripes. Other big cats may be one color, or have spots, or rosettes, or a combination of the two. But nobody else has stripes. In the cat family. The tiger is a stalk and ambush predator, so its stripes are good camouflage in the long grass. See? Now you see the tiger, now you don't. Each individual tiger has its own stripe pattern, and they're as unique as fingerprints. Or zebra stripes. Some cats may not like water, but the tiger isn't one of them. The tiger is definitely a cat who likes to swim. Why? In the steamy Asian jungles, this is a very good way to cool off, especially when wearing such a heavy fur coat. The tiger isn't the only Asian wildcat with a fondness for water. The fishing cat, a small cat native to South and Southeast Asia, has short, stout legs, which, as amazing as it might sound, are more built for swimming than running or climbing. What an extraordinary population of animals live in the vast environs of Asia. We've met... What? We've forgotten somebody? What animal could that be? Do you have any idea? You? Of course, the orangutan. The continent of Africa is home to 3 of the 4 great apes: the gorilla, the chimpanzee, and the bonobo. But it's Asia who claims the 4th, the magnificent orangutan. The word orangutan means man of the forest in the Malay language. And these apes are mostly arboreal, meaning they live in trees. No other ape has such long reddish-brown hair or impressive cheek pads. And though these animals are sociable in captivity, unlike the gorilla or the chimpanzee or the bonobo, who live in family groups called troops, the orangutan is mostly a solitary animal, living alone in the heavily forested areas on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. However, since orangutans have the longest childhood of all the apes, mothers will live with their young for up to 7 years. An orangutan's senses, hearing, sight, smell, taste, and touch, are very similar to ours. And often, so are their expressions. Orangutans are omnivores, meaning they will eat both plants and animals. But the bulk of their diet is vegetation. Unlike the tiger, orangutans won't swim. But they do use tools. And each evening, they build a sleeping nest in the tree branches. In their nests, they will curl up and sleep for the night. Here at the zoo, since tree sleeping is not an option, an orangutan prepares a napping platform for herself and her infant. A branch for a roof will protect them from both sun and rain. Ah, that's just perfect. Asia is also home to the smaller apes, the gibbons. These small, slender, long-armed, and tree-dwelling primates all come from Southeast Asia. Like the orangutan, but more so, gibbons are arboreal. They are as dexterous in the trees as the spider monkey from South America. And they can swing so fast, almost no predator can catch them. Why are gibbons so rare? Deforestation, or loss of habitat, has severely threatened their existence. Remember, Asia is, after all, the most heavily populated region of the world, and it's always animals who have to make room for people. Though these nice people are not only making room for the gibbons, they're making lunch too. This huge continent, and all its surrounding islands and nations, is home to some rare and wondrous creatures. Some that exist in the wild nowhere else on Earth. Asia not only has some of the smallest animals of their species, but some of the largest as well. In Asia, there are animals who are beloved the world over for their majesty and for their near humanity. No doubt about that. Well, we've done it. we've been to Asia and back. For more fun animal facts and news, visit our website at www.animalatlas.tv. See you there! Don't go away. Animal Atlas will be right back. Until next time on Animal Atlas.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Phil.
People out there?
Yep, people.
Ring around the rosy. I'm dizzy.
Got him.
To be or not to be?
Bubbles.
And they're off. As they round the first turn, the zebra's in the lead because no one else is racing.
Darling, alone at last.
Tag, you're it.
Once again, we've traveled the globe from North and South America to Africa and Asia to Australia and every fascinating place in between. We've met all kinds of incredible animals and learned some important facts about their ability to survive and flourish on our planet. And with our help, we'll make sure they're around for a long time to come. Join us next week for another amazing adventure on Animal Atlas.